our last tutorial for Jingle All the Way. Is anyone excited? As excited as me? Hey everyone, Cristin here, and we are finishing Jingle All the Way. Today is the day. It may take a couple of days of filming, I'm not absolutely sure, but either way, last tutorial for Jingle All the Way. So let me start by saying, if you're in the Cristin Creates group in Facebook, you know I posted that I got a cold. I got a flu bug, something, and so I sound a little funny. I'm gonna try not to cough, or I'll edit it out when I do, but just give me a little bit of grace, please. My brain is not fully functioning. I'm just muddling through, doing my best, so just give a little grace, please. So we're gonna start the first thing. So first off, let me show you, we finished our Jingle All the Way quilt. This big quilt, we did it. Oh my gosh, it's been a big project that's taken a long time, and it's so beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So we're going to do, like I said, in sections. So the first thing is, I made a quilt label. So we're going to start with a quilt label. You can use whatever you want. You can make your own quilt label. For those that made a donation to the Cristin Creates tutorials during the time of this project, I'm going to send this to you. I actually have been working on them all weekend, even though I didn't film all weekend because I was so sick, but I did work on the quilt labels, and I made one for everybody that has made a donation during the time of this project. So I will send that to you. Check your email after this video is posted, and you'll receive it that way. So you can see I made a little Christmas tree, Jingle All the Way wording, made by, and then my name, and then the date. And I made one for each of you. So do whatever works for you. I actually scanned from a coloring book page the tree, and then I digitized it, and I thought that was pretty fun. So it was a little challenging, but it worked out, and I'm happy with it. I did it on felt, and like I said, I'm going to send this to each of you that sent a donation. If you still want to send a donation and get the custom quilt label, here's a link here to my PayPal account. You can send a donation that way. Please make sure to include your email address. I do not have a way of sending this to you if you don't send me your email address, and it's really frustrating when I have to keep sending messages and trying to locate you and how to get the information that I need. So please just send it. Let's make Cristin's life a little bit easier. So send me your email address and also the format that your machine uses. Let me know you're working on Jingle, and I will send this to you. All right. So also, if you want Venmo, here's a link to my Venmo account that you can send a donation that way, whatever works for you. All right. And again, you can make your own. You could, if you have like a Christmas tree design, an applique design or something, you could put your name on the parts of the tree and then the date and be done. Call it a day. Whatever works for you, however you want to do it. But we're going to start with the label and sewing it onto the back of the quilt. All right. That's the first thing. All right, so after you create your label for your quilt, you want to have that for generations to come, right? So make sure to add a quilt label. So then sew it onto the back of your quilt wherever you like it to be, and then we're ready to move on to the next embellishment. So let me see, where can I put this? We'll put it here for now. All right, next we're going to work on the gift tags. So the gift tags on my book, they're shown on page 18. That's the oldest Jingle book. And there are 3 gift tags that we're going to make. So I've got a couple of notes for you about this one. So let's start with just talking about what we need for them. So for the gift tags, like I said, there are 3 of them. We're going to start with 2 pieces. This is the white with big polka dots on it. And I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. That's up to you. We're actually going to add Flexifoam for these. That will help keep them pretty opaque as well. So either way, whatever works for you. 2 of them at 4.5 by 6. All right, 2 of these. This is the white polka dots. 2 pieces at 4.5 by 6. Okay, and then there are going to be 2. Nope, just 1. Sorry, 1 more. Let's see, 4. Sorry, 4 of these. Sorry, my mistake. 4 of these. Like I said, remember, I am sick and my brain doesn't function well when I'm sick. So give me a little grace. Don't start calling me out on mistakes I make, please. All right, so 4 pieces of this one. This one is the white snowflakes. All right, I know it's hard to tell that there's snowflakes on there, but there is, believe me. All right, 4 pieces of this one. And again, I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. That's up to you. 4 pieces at 6 by 8. All right, 6 by 8. All right, so there's 3 gift tags and 6 pieces of fabric. So that means that we're going to have a front fabric and a back fabric. And I'll show you that process and talk a little bit about it and then mostly show it in photos. All right, so 4 pieces of the snowflake fabric at 6 by 8. All right. And then we have our Flexifoam. So our Flexifoam was in the embellishment kit from our sponsor. If you bought from Oma Darlings, our sponsor, they gave you the what's it called, Flexifoam, and it was already pre-cut and everything in the embellishment kit. That was kind of nice. So we are going to have 2 pieces that are 6 by 8, and you can see mine are a little off, but 6 by 8, 2 pieces of Flexifoam at 6 by 8, and then 1 piece that is 4.5 by 6. All right, 4.5 by 6, and that's for our Flexifoam for the gift tags. All right, and then one other thing, so I'm going to go over all of it step by step, so you don't need to worry about anything. But one thing is you want to have your bobbin thread be the same as your top thread at the end when we're doing the satin stitch around the gift tag. So it shows them in red, so just grab your bobbin in red. Looks like I might need to make more, I'm not sure. So either way, you want some red bobbin thread or whatever color you're going to use for your outside satin stitch. All right, we're going to use that for our bobbin. So grab that as well, don't forget that. And then the other thing that is in the directions, which I thought was kind of interesting, is a glue stick. So grab your glue stick. I'm not sure that it's super necessary because I've done a lot of felt projects and different kids crafts where you add a backing, and I've never glued the backing on. So I think that's interesting, but it'll probably help it lay really well. So grab your glue stick. I'm going to give it a try. Why not, right? So that's in the directions as well. So I've already checked out all the directions and how to do this. It looks pretty self-sufficient. So one thing is you are going to want some, what is it called? Let's see, fibrous water soluble stabilizer is how it's described in the book. And keep in mind that this was back before Kimberbell came out with stabilizer. And so let me grab it. Sorry. All right. Wash away embroidery stabilizer. All right. Wash away embroidery stabilizer. That's what we're going to use in our hoop. All right. And we'll clean it off afterward and all of that so that it will be a freestanding, like when you do freestanding lace, same type of thing. This gift tag will be a freestanding gift tag. All right. And we're making 3 of them. So grab your stabilizer for that. Now, one other thing is that there are 3 of them. We're going to make 3 of them, and you can make each of them individually if you choose. I'm going to do all 3 at at once, which means I'm going to bring you over to the computer and show you how to merge them together. I'm just going to make it so that we're doing all of the parts at the same time. Like it's going to do all of the, what is it? Flexifoam. Sorry, brain not functioning. We'll do all the flexifoam at once. We'll do all of the top fabrics at once. We'll do all of the bottom fabrics at once. We'll do all of the stitching, everything at once. So I'm going to show you how to merge them together and move things around so that we can do all of those parts at one time, make it pretty simple and quick. But you can absolutely do them individually if you choose. All right, so those are the products that we need. Don't forget your bobbin, your colored bobbin for whatever you're gonna, thread color you're gonna use for your satin stitch around. All right, 3 of them. So let's go ahead and go over to the computer and see how we can merge them together into one hooping if you prefer. Hey everyone, Cristin Tom here, and I'm at my computer now, so I am going to show you how to work these in Embellishments Essentials to join them together. So I'm opening up Embellishments Essentials. I'm going to, let's see. So one thing I want to point out real quick here is I originally thought, oh, these all fit in a 6x10. When I first looked at it, I pulled them all in and I thought, oh, this is going to be really simple. Well, it's very important to notice what size file. All right, so I'm going to show you this. I'm going to open up the folder that has these files, and when you first open up your file, you'll see that the tags are in 4x4, and so I just pulled them in, started doing my thing, teaching you how to do it, and then I realized I'm using the wrong size. So so I'm starting over. So one of the files, the no peeking one, this one, we're going to use that 4x4, but the mistletoes and the sweet bite, we're going to use a 5x7. All right, so it changes the size of the hoop that you need. And again, you can do each of these separately, or you can, if you have a bigger hoop, you can join them together to try and save on some time. So whatever works for you. This is actually a really good learning opportunity for using Embellishments Essentials, because there's some changes to be made and some things to think ahead. And keep in mind, my brain is foggy from being sick, and so it should be a good learning experience. So all right, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to find the 5x7 files right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to, this is the mistletoes and it's the 5x7 file. Make sure to bring in the 5x7 file. All right, I'm going to click on that file, and you can see it is upright and it's in the middle of the hoop. I want it to be sideways so that we can see the wording right and so that we can fit everything in the hoop well. I'm going to go ahead and use this blue arrow key that says to rotate it. All right, so I'm going to rotate left, and then I'm going to grab it and bring it up to the top of my hoop. All right, making sure not to go over those hoop lines at all. That yellow line on mine is yellow. This represents your hoop, so you want to make sure not to go over that hoop at all. I'm going to go back to this compass button, click on H for hoop, so it zooms into the whole hoop. And then I'm going to go back to my folder, and now I want that 4x4 file. And I'm doing them in order. I find it easier if I bring them in the right order. It makes it so that your hoop isn't jumping all around. I don't like it when it does that. So I'm going to bring in the 4x4 design for the no peeking right there. So no peeking, I'm going to grab that and bring it over. And I'm going to just click on that design, and I'm going to use my right arrow key to bring it all the way over to the right to give it as much space as I can. All right, that one's done. And one thing I want to point out, see how it's green on here? In the book, it's red. So I'm going to change this so that it does them all together. You can do them whatever color you want, but you need to know now, because if you're going to use different colors, then you would need to adjust them here so that what joins together is what you want to join. All right, so I'll show you more of that in just a bit, but just check your colors. So there's a few colors that are on the file different than what it shows in the book. So all right, the next one, I'm going to click on that file again. Don't forget, you could go to merge stitch file and bring it in that way. If you do it that way, then you double click on the file. If you do it from a folder, then you drag it over. All right, so now I'm going to go back to that the 5x7 files right there, the Sweet Bite Jingle in 5x7, and I'm going to drag it over to my workstation here, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to bring it down and to the left. All right, making sure to give it as much space as I can. All right, so those are positioned well. So this is what I was saying about the color. So this is green here, but in the book it's red, and I want it red so that the wording will stand out. Notice the wording is in red, and yet in the book it is in black. And so I'm going to make it similar to the book. You can do it however you want, but you need to know going in what you want. All right, so I need to make sure to change those colors so that the parts will join. So the other thing is, like on my first round of teaching all of this, I showed you that when we do a color sort, it only does the first two, because these, see that quilting, those are in gray, and this quilting is in red, and yet it's not in the book, and it's not in the pictures of the design. So I'm going to change all of that so that everything will join as it should, and then we'll move it in place to where it should be and all of that. So this is a good learning opportunity for Embrilliance for those of us that might be new to it. All right. So the 3 designs are there. They are fit well into this hoop. I'm using my 9x14 hoop. Did I show you how to change your hoop? If I didn't do that, let me tell you real quick, just in case. I don't remember if I did it or if it was on the previous one that I recorded that didn't work out. So on this one, go to your preferences folder, click on the hoop size you want, say okay, click on the compass and click H for hoop to have it zoom in. And you can always see your hoop size down here at the bottom. All right, it says hoop 9x14. And you do need a 9x14. I looked at an 8x12 and it's really too tight, pretty much really not even working. So 9x14 is the way to go. Or you could do 2 in 1 hooping, 1 in another hooping, or all 3 in separate hoopings, whatever works for you. All right, so now we want to look at those colors, and we got to look at them pretty closely. So initially I thought, oh, there's just one cyan and orange, we're good. There was, I think it was, the red was twice. Here's the red twice. So I am going to change those because I don't want those to join together. There's also the orange, which I didn't catch initially, this Wilcom 9 orange. There's 2 of those. All right, so let's go ahead and just start changing some colors. So this Wilcom 2, this is probably the placement stitch for the Flexifoam. That's my guess. I think that will be fine. And then the tack down of the Flexifoam, and then the placement and tack down of the fabric is my guess here. All right, then the Wilcom 14, this gray, this is the quilting. Now, if you want different quilting on each of them, then you would need to change that now. I'm going to keep them all gray, which you can see this one is red, so I'm going to have to change it to gray. But I'm going to have all of them show as gray because I'm going to use white. So think about whatever quilting you want. I think it's so cool that there's quilting embedded in this file. We don't have to adjust it or anything. It's already here. But since it's on a background of wording, I want the wording to stand out. And so I'm just going to use the same color as my fabric. So I'm just going to have them all be white, even though this one shows red. And it doesn't show that way in the book. All right, so I'm going to keep with this gray, and then we've got the black writing, which is great, and then the red mistletoe and the green toes. And I believe that is how it shows. Let's quick look. Yep, so that's good. All right, then here's that orange again. So we have the orange up here and the orange down here. So 1, 2, and 1, 8 are both orange. So we don't want those to join together. So I'm going to change that. So I'm going to click on the color down in the properties window. Click on that, and I'm going to change it. So right now I'm on palettes because I was showing something in the previous tutorial. So I'm going to click on the first color. I'm on threads and the view menu here, and I'm going to click on the first color that comes up for me, and that is reddish brown. Doesn't matter what color, you just want it something different than the one that is used up here. All right, and then 1, 9, there's that red again. So we have the red here and we have it here, and I don't want them to be the same. I am going to use red on both of these, but I don't want them to join. So I'm going to click on the color, and I am going to choose, let's see, I need a different red. I guess I'll choose this carmine, I think it's called, pink. Yeah. But then I need to make sure to do it on all of them. Maybe I'll change, it doesn't matter. All right, so maybe I'll change it on the wording, just so that, we can see the red on all of them. Just it might be a little less confusing. I'm not sure. I'm going to choose Carmine on, I'm on 1/6, the missile, and then on this 1/9, I'm going to change it back to that red. I'm going to type in red. Oh, there's the reddish brown. That's what I was thinking I was going to be able to do. Where did my red go? Right there. Brother Embroidery Red. I'll do that. All right. So wasn't it Wilcom red on the other one? Anyway, all right. Brain not working right. All right, red. We've got Carmine for missile, even though it's going to be red. So on that one, you could, nope. I thought it would give me that reddish brown. All right, moving on. Sorry. All right, so this first tag, that one is done. It should be all good. And then we're going to move to the second one. Now, there's that blue, the cyan, and that's that placement for the Flexifoam, and then the tack down, and then the fabric, and then the quilting. So all of those are good. And then here's that red again. Now, let's see. So I need this to be a different red because I don't want it to join with the satin stitch of the design. So I'm going to go ahead and change this. So 2-5, I'm going to click on the color. I'm going to choose that Carmine. I think that's what I used, right? Let's see. Carmine right there. All right, so I'm doing that just so that it will join with the missile, so that it will do those two red words at the same time. And this is on no peeking. You know what? Change of plan. My mistake. So on this one, in the book, it shows it as red. In the design, it shows it as red, but in the book, it shows it black, and on the design pictures, it shows it black. So I'm going to change it to black. Sorry to confuse you. I meant to catch that. All right, so I am on, let's see, 1/6, not 1/6, the second design. 2-5. Gee whiz, sorry you guys. I know. All right, 2-5, click on the color, and I'm going to change it to black. All right, and now you can type in the search bar black. That will work just fine, and click it that way. Or you can go to the palettes, and it shows you all the colors that are already in there. If you're having trouble finding a certain color, that makes it easy too. All right, so I want it to make sure it's the same black. Wilcom, see, Wilcom 13 black versus Brother Embroidery black. That's not what I want. So I want it to join with the black on this tag so that it will do them at the same time. So I'm going to change this from Brother Embroidery black to palettes, and then there's my Wilcom black. That's what I want. All right. All right, and then we've got that orange twice. So I'm going to click on 2-6, click on the color in the properties window, and click on threads there. Now I've got that reddish brown. I want that orange twice. Let's make sure we've got it here. Brother Embroidery reddish brown. Perfect. All right, so we wanted to have those be the same. Now this is different also. It shows Martian green, which is cool. I've never heard of a Martian green, but in the book and in the photos, it shows this being red. And personally, I want it to be red so that it's doing all three of them at the same time, and it makes that black pop. That wording, though, no peeking, it will pop with that red. So I'm going to change this to red. I want to make sure to use the same red that I used on the outline, the satin outline of the first tag. Hold on a second. Sorry, my voice is giving out. All right, Brother Embroidery red is what I want. So I'm going to click on 2-7, click on the color, and then I'll go to the palettes window, and I want Brother Embroidery red. So palettes shows you all the colors that you've already used in this design. It makes it really easy to just find them. All right, so we have, let's check. Good. All right, this should be all good. Click outside. Now I'm going to click on the third design. So we have the cyan, same as the other. That's good. Orange. And then we have deep yellow. It did deep yellow on another one. There it is, deep yellow. Oh, so that must be the tack down of probably the fabric, I'm guessing. So that's good, no problem. Now this is the red quilting. I do not want red quilting, and I want it to join with the other quilting if I can. So I'm going to use that same gray that we used on the other. So Wilcom 14 gray is what it's showing. And again, you can change all of your colors to make it whatever you want, but I'm going to click on 3-4, click on the color, and I'm going to choose Wilcom gray because that's what the other two have. All right. And then 3, 5, it's all in black, so that's nice and easy. And that is the, that will come orange. So on this one, I need to change it to that reddish brown. So I'm on 3, 6, click on the color, and I'm going to choose that reddish brown that we used on the others. And then we'll come 5, that's not it, right? Brother Embroidery Red is what we want. So on 3, 7, I'm going to click on the color, and I'm going to use Brother Embroidery Red. Whatever you're using, you're just checking up to make sure it's the same as the other one so that the parts will join. I hope that makes sense to you. All right, so those are done. That was pretty easy. Let's just see. We're going to have to move things around, I'm sure. All right, so let's go ahead and do a color sort. Right now we have 23 color steps. It says it down here in the right-hand corner. Click on Utility, Color Sort. It says it's reduced it by 14 color changes. I'm going to click New View. It opens a new tab. Everything's together in one design now. I'm going to open this up and check it all. So we have the placement for the Flexifoam. I keep forgetting what that's called. Flexifoam that will stitch on the stabilizer, and those are all joined together. And then the tack down stitch and the placement and tack down of the fabric. And then, oh, look, it did all 3 of the quilting designs. That's perfect. I thought we'd have to move those around to make that work right. And then we have all of the black stitching. That's perfect. Oh, this worked much easier than I expected. All right, and then red for the missile and green for the toes. And then the, what did we decide this was? This is the back fabric. It's going to be the tack down of the back fabric, I believe. And then all of the satin stitching. And again, if you want these to be different colors, you would just change that initially in that first tab. But I want them all to be red. And that's how it shows it in the book and in the design pictures. So I think that that will work out really well. We didn't have to, I thought we'd have to move everything around and redo a color sort and all of that. It was quite easy. This is my 3rd time around. So it's a little easier for you, but still, it's good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do a save file, save stitch file as, and let's see, I need to, no, that's not where it is. Find where you have your folder or where you want to save it. It doesn't matter. You can save it to your desktop if that's easier. I have it on my Jingle All the Way folder and embroidery files. Right there, Pez. And I'm going to name this gift tags times 3. Save. So I've got it in my 9x14 hoop. I'm going to say utility Wi-Fi to Brother Machine. Yay, file sent to machine. So if you don't have that feature, you just save it to your USB stick and we're ready to go. This was pretty easy. This will be fun. All right, so don't forget that you need your special stabilizer. You need a water soluble stabilizer. What's it called? Wash away stabilizer. All right, let's get stitching. All right, so after you finish up your gift tags, I don't know, tags of some sort, just hold on to them. We are going to use them after we create our bows. All right, so one thing I want to point out, remember I said to use water-soluble stabilizer on these, and I did. The only thing is I decided not to get them all wet. So you use however you finish off projects using water soluble stabilizer, do it whatever you feel comfortable with. But I was concerned about the red satin stitch with the white fabric, so I did not want to take a chance in having them bleed, so I didn't use the water. So all I did was cut the stabilizer very close, and then what you can do is you can wet your finger and then just rub it along the edge here, and it'll take off any extra stabilizer. So whatever you feel comfortable with, you do you. The other thing is you want to cut inside of the little holes for the bows, all right, for the string, whatever you call it. I used this this little doohickey in here. You just put it under there and squeeze it, and oh my gosh, it works so easily. So I'll add this to my Amazon storefront. Right here is a link. This thing works really well. I've been using it for several years, and it's a pretty good thing. I think it's called like Memory Keepers, Crocodile, something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, I'll put it in my storefront for you. And let me know when you've got your tags all done. And then, like I said, just put them aside for now. We'll deal with them a little bit later. All right, and then next up in our embellishments is to do the buttons. So you can choose to do the buttons before you add your backing if you prefer. I prefer not to, just because I don't want it rubbing along the machine, but whatever works for you. So if you bought from our sponsor, if you bought the embellishment kit from our sponsor, Oh My Darlings, she included some buttons, which I thought was really cute. I don't know why I wasn't expecting that, but I wasn't. And in that box, or the bag, I don't know what you call it, from the embellishments, there was also some little sequins in there, and I didn't notice that until now, and those would have been fun to put in our snow globes. So keep an eye out inside of your embellishment kit. There were some tiny little buttons which were really helpful, or grab your own buttons. So I'll show you in photos everywhere that you're going to add buttons, but I ended up using some that I already had, just because I thought that they were cute and pretty. These are the Kimberbell buttons, and there's gingham ones and dotted ones, and I thought those were pretty cute. So that's what I used. Use whatever works for you. If you've got a little stash of buttons, you want red buttons for the Christmas tree, you could do something different if you wanted, but it shows red. And then one tiny little black one for the neighborhood houses. And she, like I said, she sent a few of those. And so I used those for my, the houses, because they're very, very tiny. I'll show you. So you're going to use those for your doorknob. All right, and there's not a whole lot of space, so you definitely want to use a tiny one. There's not a lot of space with the wreaths. And like I said, I'll show photos of where you're going to put all of your buttons, but I did use those on my neighborhood houses that came from my embellishment kit. So that's the next thing, is all the little buttons, and I'll show photos of everywhere of where you're going to put those. So grab out some buttons and get ready for that part. All right, time for the second to last part. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. It feels like this video especially, it's been very long. Like there's so many parts to it, and so I'm ready for this project to be done. So we're going to work on the lights for the neighborhood houses. So these are up here this is just the inside cover. It shows really well where you're going to put your lights. And the lights, we're going to make those. I think I'm going to do something a little bit different with mine, but it shows in the picture that there are 4 lights per house. There's 3 houses and 4 lights per house. So really we need a total of 12 lights. And I pulled up the design and I thought it was interesting that the design has 9 lights. So you would have to either make that twice, which also it's kind of weird because it'd be kind of hard, in my opinion, to put the different products down because they're all grouped together in like this little set. And so really you'd kind of want to do one for each color set because I think it's going to be difficult. So I think I'm going to manipulate it in Embrilliance and see if that's doable, because what I'd like to do is have 4 lights for each color and have them be separated enough that there's room for all of the fabrics. So I haven't started looking into that too much, but that's what I'm thinking I might like to do. But we'll see, whatever works. So let's quickly go over what we need for this. Grab your embellishment packet if you made a packet. And like I said, our sponsor, Oh My Darlings, has an embellishment kit, and that she included everything with it, which was really helpful because these are kind of difficult things to get as far as the tools, different colors of tool, and the different colors of the Mylar, I think it's called. I'm not sure, but anyway, so let's talk about what we need for those, for the embellishment for these. So let me turn to that page. There it is. It's on page 19, Dimensional Mylar Lights. That's for the oldest Jingle book. All right, so we need tool. So let me show you the tool. So she included one of each of these. Oh, looks like I have extra. So red, can you see that? All right, red tool. And then it looks like I have 2 of the red. All right, 2 of the red. And it does say we do need 2 of each, actually, because that makes sense. It's probably going to be on top and under the Mylar would be my guess. We'll get there in just a minute though. And then green, 2 pieces of the green tool and 2 pieces, I think it's 4. It looks like white and silver. Oh, and they look the same to me. So white and silver, 2 pieces each. So we want these to be 5 by 5. One of mine looks quite a bit smaller than that, but the rest look pretty close, or actually quite large, but that one looks a little small. Doesn't matter though, I'm sure it'll work out just fine. And there's an extra one. I have a lot of tool. They're just kind of all over. So 2 pieces of each and 5 by 5 for red, green, yellow, and white. Red, green, yellow, and white. Oh, that's what it is. Red, green, yellow, and white of the tool. And then for the Mylar, there is red, and notice that one side is red, one side is silver, looks like. So make sure that we're going to put it up the way that we want it. All right, and then green Mylar, gold or yellow Mylar, and then silver. All right. Oh, that one's so pretty. Did you see that? It's like iridescent. That's a fun one. I like that. And it's like glittery. All right. So of the Mylar, 5 by 5 also, and it's going to be red, green, gold, and silver. Red, green, gold, and silver. 1 piece each of the 5 by 5 Mylars. All right. And then it says that we need fray check. I think I have that somewhere. I'm going to keep it on hand. And I'll tell you when it recommends that you use that. All right. Fray check. And then it says pearl cotton thread, black size 8. I don't know what that is, but I received this and I'm pretty sure I'll just use that. That works fine, I'm sure. This is a Kimberbell twine. All right. And it says black size 8. It doesn't say how long we want it to be. That would have been helpful. But it looks like I've got a long enough piece that I'll just put it on and cut off what I don't need. So not too much of a problem. I'll try and remember to measure this and add it in for those of you that are going to cut your own. All right. So that you've got this. This is the black and white twine. All right. And this is so that it's like the lights are on that twine. All right. And then fibrous water soluble stabilizer. So that same stabilizer, sorry, still not fully functioning with my cold, but I'm so much better. So that same water wash away stabilizer that we used for the tags that we made. All right, so that same thing. And like I mentioned in earlier that I thought it was weird that it's a set, the design is a set of 9 lights and we need 12. I mean, you could certainly decide to do 3 per each of the houses instead of 4, but it does show 4, so I'm going to try for 4. And I want them separated because I think it's going to be hard to have all of this be in between each of those 3. I think that just will be hard, so I'm thinking I'm going to adjust it a little bit, but we'll see what works. All right. So I'll show you in photos step by step. We're going to lay down a layer of tulle, then a layer of mylar, and then a layer of tulle on top of the placement line. And that's why we need 2 of the tulle and 1 of the mylar. And I'll show you all of that in photos. I think we're good to go. So I'm going to bring you over to the computer and show you how to adjust it. If that works for me, if it doesn't, then I'll just keep it as is and probably just make more of them. But like I said, I'm a little concerned with getting that tulle and the mylar in this little area since there's 3 or 4 rows of the lights. So anyway, we'll see when we get over to the computer. Hey everyone, so I'm at my computer now. So like I mentioned, you can do these however you want to do them. I'm just thinking that I want basically 3 lights of each of the 4 colors, and it's set up as 9. So I'll show you what I mean, but you can choose to do this part or not. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to open up Embellishments Essentials. That's the embroidery software that I use and recommend. And the channel gets a little kickback when you use our link to purchase Embellishments Essentials, and I show you how to use it. So here's a link up here to our affiliate link for Embellishments Essentials. All right, and it's great software. It's so user friendly. All right, so the first thing is always to check what hoop size you're on. Down here at the bottom, you can see it says I'm on my 6x10 hoop. I think that's probably what I want because I want some space in between to be able to use all of those products. All right, I just want a little space. So again, totally up to you. So go up here. If you're not on the hoop size you want, come up to the preferences folder, click on that, click on the hoop size you want, say okay, and then come up to this compass button and click H for hoop. All right, and mine was already on that, so you didn't see a lot of changes, but you'll notice if you're on a different size hoop and from the hoop that you want to use. All right, so I'm going to open up a folder and bring in that Jingle All the Way. Let's see here, documents. I'm going to go. It's just asking, where is this file that you want me to open up? So I have mine on my Dropbox folder because I went to my daughter. So I put everything on my Dropbox folder. It made it easy to get it all. So I'm just navigating to that. So embroidery files, Pez is what I use for my machine, and I don't remember what it's called, so I think I'll go to this view menu and go to large icons so I can see it because I don't remember off the top of my head what it's called. So right there, 5x7, let's make sure we want the 5x7. We do the dimensional mylar lights. So this is what I'm saying, that see how there's 9 of them and we need 12. So I'm going to click on that and drag it over, shrink down that folder so it's out of our way. And then you can do it like this. You could do it 4 times. You could do it once and just use 3 lights per house. You could do it twice and have some extra, whatever works for you. But I'm thinking I want to move it around a little bit and change it up so that I've got like 4 different sets. I'd like to have 12 lights personally, not 9. And I don't want 18 of them. And I want some room between them. So this is really optional. So if you open it up, you can see that we have, it's probably the placement for all of that tulle and mylar, and then a tack down with the quilting. See the little decorative stitching inside of the light? That's what is going to make it look really cool with that mylar in there. All right, and then the satin stitch and the end of it, whatever you call the end of the light. All right, so this will work great, but you could I think it would be doable to change it up. So let's just give it a try. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the Stitch Simulator. So it's right here, Stitch Simulator. I'm going to click on that, and then it'll show me what it's going to stitch. So there's that placement stitch. So if I want to cut those out, like if I just do 3 of them and then copy and paste it is what I'm thinking, I would have to use the Stitch Simulator to stop this. And then I noticed that this starts from the bottom. So see, it's from here, on this first one, it starts from the top and goes down. And then on the blue, it starts from the bottom. So I'll have to do my stop a little bit different. And then it starts in on that quilting or decorative stitch, whatever you call it. And then the satin stitch will be after that. There it is. So there's the satin stitch, and that came from the bottom as well. So I'll have to keep that in mind. And then the black starts from the top. All right. So I'll show you, and again, totally optional if you choose to do this or not. So I'm going to get to that third one, and I'm going to just stop it. And you can use these little blue arrows to go stitch by stitch. So you can see I'm toward the end of that third one. So I'm just going to keep going until I get to the end where it jumps to the next row right there. I'm going to go back one so that it stops here, and I'm going to click stop. All right, and then it asks you to change the color. I'm in palettes. Make sure not to be in palettes because then it will join. You want a different color, something that's totally different. So I'm going to choose a color that's different than the orange so that it'll stand out so I know what to delete. So I'm going to choose this brown. It doesn't matter what color as long as it looks different than the original color. I'm going to say okay. All right, so then if I click on that, there's that first one. I'm still on that Stitch Simulator, and then here's all of those others. So all that is the placement stitch. It looks like it's all of them, but it's just that placement stitch. All right, so I can go ahead and delete that. I'm going to click on my keyboard and click delete. All right, and so now all I have is the placement stitch for those first 3, and that's what I want. All right, so here's that second one. And that is the tack down stitch and then the decorative stitch. And remember, it started from the bottom, so I'm going to have to stop it a couple of times. So if I start from the bottom, and then I'm just going to run that Stitch Simulator until it's close to the end where it's going to get to the designs that I want. And I'm going to just, there it goes already. So I'm just using that little arrow keys up at the top that goes stitch by stitch. And I'm going to back it up until it is finishing that second row. And I'm going to say stop. And then again, I'm going to change the color. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this Prussian blue, just so it's something darker and it'll show me that it's something different. And let me think. So stop, say okay. All right, and then if I run through this, so this is all of those, the first 2 rows that I don't want. So this blue part here, I don't need the lighter blue. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on 1, 2. That's my ice blue. And I'm going to click delete. All right, so I don't need those. I still need to stop it again because it's going to do all of the other parts, but at least it'll start on that first row. All right, and so it's going to run through that decorative stitch, and then it'll jump to that second row. So I'm going to back it up and go all the way to make sure I've got the last stitch, and you'll know because it'll jump. So you see this little crosshair here, it jumped over to the next row. So I'm going to back it up by 1 and then hit stop, and I'm going to change the color. I'm going to choose purple so that it'll stand out and be something different, and say okay. All right, so then I know I want this one because that's that first row. This is the second 2 rows. I don't want that, so I'm going to click delete on my keyboard. All right, so we're making good progress already. All right, so this 1, 3, this one again started from the bottom, so I'm going to have to forward it up until I get to that first row. So the way I do it is I just grab this little bar here. Hopefully you've been seeing me do that instead of running through this because that would take forever because it's stitch by stitch. If I just grab this and drag it over to the green, all right, so it's going to run through those first 2 rows, and I don't want those. I just want the top row. All right, so then when it gets to that top row, let's see. Oh, 1 too far, right there. All right, so this one, instead of finishing it where it's down here, I'm going to have it finish at the very first stitch of that top row. All right, and you can see by advancing forward sorry, backward, because it went backwards. All right, there it goes. So as soon as it jumps, I'm going to hit stop, and I'm going to change the color. I'm going to change it to a teal green so I can see the difference. All right, so I have teal green on the top row and then green on the second 2 rows, and I don't want that one. So let's see, make sure to click outside. So notice when I did that, it had both of these selected. If I did that, it's going to take away all the satin stitches, and I just want it to take away row 2 and 3. So click outside so nothing's selected, and then click on that second one. So for me, it's 1, 3, and I'm going to click delete. All right, we're making good headway. Excuse me. All right, so then 1, 4, this one started from the top, so it should be easier to get rid of some of them. So I'm going to just I'm dragging that stitch simulator all the way to the gray part or black, whatever that is. And then I'm going to have it run all the way through until it gets to that second part. And then I'm just going to use the stitch simulator, advancing 1 stitch at a time to make sure I'm finishing it at the top row. Hit stop, and then I'm going to change the color. I think I'll choose this light lilac. See, okay. And you're just making it so that it's different. You can see. All right. So I'm going to click outside so nothing's selected. And then I'm going to click 1, 5 and I'm going to click delete. Now I have exactly what I wanted. That was really easy. So I have the placement stitch on the first row, the tack down stitch and the decorative stitch, the satin stitch outline, and then the top of the light. So that's perfect. So I want 4 of these total, and I want them spaced out enough. So this is perfect. This is so nice. So click on the design, make sure you've got all 4 parts of it, and then just put it where you want it. I'm going to put it up at the top of this hoop. I just want to give myself some space for all of that mylar and tulle and all that. I just want some space. All right, so there's the first one. Now I can just easily hit Control C to copy all of that, and then Control V like victory to paste a second one. It goes on top of that first one, and then I'm just going to drag it down to wherever feels comfortable. All right, and then Control V like victory again for a third one, and I'm going to drag that down here. All right, and then Control V like victory for a fourth one. Bring that one all the way to the bottom. You can move them around a little to give yourself enough space. You could even do your align and distribute if you wanted it to be the exact right amount, but it really doesn't matter at all, so I'm not going to bother with that. All right, so there is 4 sets of these, and now you can see I have a little bit of space in between them, so I don't have to worry about that. And I've got 12 instead of 9. So that's exactly what I was hoping for. All right, now you could do an align and distribute if you feel comfortable putting all of those down at once. I don't think it would be a problem because we can tape them in place. Let me just think for a second here. So we're going to put down the tulle and all of the stuff at one time. You could just leave it like this and not do an align and distribute, and it'll work on 1 row at a time. Then you're not dealing with all the excess material. So if you did them all at once, then you're going to have all that excess material that you're kind of making sure that nothing's touching. But if you do 1 at a time, then you could I think I'll just leave it. You could be braver than me and do all of them at one time, where you're just putting down all of those products and taping them in place and having it run through. I think I'm just going to do 1 at a time. If you want to do all 4, you can do a color sort. It will join all of them. Right now we have 16 color steps. I think I'm just going to leave them and do 1 at a time. It's a lot of product to make sure that it's flat and staying in place, and I think I'm just going to leave them separate, but this will give us our 12 and make it pretty easy. So I'm just going to leave this. So I'm going to do a file, save stitch file as, and I am going to name this, what were these called? Mylar Lights times 12. All right, save it however you want and wherever you want. I'm going to send them to my machine and get started stitching these. You can save it to a USB stick if your machine is not Wi-Fi ready. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, are you ready for the last step of our quilt? Oh my gosh, like 5 months or something. We've been doing this for a very long time and we're on the last step. So I haven't figured it out completely how to make these bows, but I will, and I will share all of the information in photos. But I'm going to run to the gym, and since I'm already all hair done and stuff from 2 meetings early this morning, so I'm going to film this part now, and then the rest will be in photos when I'm sweaty and gross and you won't have to see me that way. Good plan, right? So let's talk about what we need for the bows. All right, this is the bows from the presents. Remember those present blocks, and don't forget that we will need our gift tags that we made after we make these bows. And I did read through the directions. It was a little confusing to me. I'm just having trouble visualizing how to do it, but I'm going to figure it out and we'll walk you through it step by step. Don't worry. But for now, we're just going to talk about the products that we need. All right. So the first one is this. We have 3 bows to make for 3 of those presents that we already made. All right, so the red fabric with white dots on it, and we're going to have this be 7.5 by 13. All right, 7.5 by 13. Now, if you remember in the prep video long ago when we first started this project, I said don't stabilize this. All right, we don't want these fabrics stabilized. We want it to be able to fold and do all of the things that we need to do to make it into a bow. 7.5 by 13. It's the red with the white dots. This is for present 1. All right. Then for present 2, we have this green fabric. This is a directional fabric, And I did mention in the prep video which way to cut it, and there's also directions, I believe, in the download. Remember at the very beginning I told you to download the updated fabric cut instructions. So on this one, 7.5 by 13, you can see that the lines are going depending on which way you're holding it, because it says 7.5 by 13, so it should be this way, which has the lines going horizontally, but I'm assuming that the final bow will probably be, it looks like it will be going this way. So anyway, we'll figure it all out when we get there, but it is a directional fabric, so keep that in mind when you're cutting it. All right, 7.5 by 13, the green. I think this is the older one that's like the awning, the newer one, but and this may have had a substitute. I don't recall, and I don't have that paper anymore. We're so far past that. It's probably the new green awning fabric that was the substitute from our sponsor, but I think that one's been discontinued, but I'm not absolutely sure. All right, that was present 2, 7.5 by 13. For present 3, the bow for present 3, again, 7.5 by 13, not stabilized. Make sure not to stabilize these fabrics, all right, for the bow, 7.5 by 13. And then the other thing that we need is a bunch of ribbons. So this came in my embellishment kit. How cute is she? Oh, my darling, she did such a great job on this project for us. So there's several bows in here, and it says that we need red dot. That's what I've got, red dot, green with white stitching. So on the red dot, it says we need 2 yards of bow fabric, because I believe we'll use that for 2 of the presents, and then for one of them we'll use the green, and it's green with white stitching. This is the Kimberbell fabric. Any ribbon will work if you didn't buy the embellishment kit. Either way, so 2 yards of the red and 1 yard of the green. All right, and then like I said, there's some instructions on how to make this into a bow. I'm going to figure all that out with my brain that is not fully functioning but feeling so much better, and I'm going to go to the gym and get a good workout, and that will help generate my brain working right and figure it all out for you. And I will share all of that in photos when I'm all sweaty and gross, so you don't have to see me looking that way. And then we're going to be done. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, and already getting so many questions about what our next project is, and I'm not ready to even think about that, but I do have something in mind that I think would be really fun. So, and it would give us all a little break. I need a break. I'm ready for a break. Are you ready for a break? I'm definitely ready for a break. So after all of this filming of the videos and then all of the photographs and doing the project, then I still need to edit this video. And to do one video that's about an hour long or less, it takes at least 12 hours to edit the video. So I still have a lot of time ahead of finishing, but eventually I'll get to the place where we start talking about our next projects, but not quite yet. So let's finish up Jingle All the Way. my gosh, you guys, we did it. Don't you just feel like yelling? We did it. We did it. It's done. We have a beautiful quilt. I actually have mine. I had it hanging up even though it is March and I have my beautiful spring showers quilt up, but I took it down. I'm going to leave this up for a little bit because it's just gorgeous and we worked so hard on it for so long. So I just want to thank everybody that joined me for this older project. It was fun. A lot of work, but it was fun. And don't forget, for those of you that made a donation during the time of this project, check your email. I sent you the label, so a custom label with your name on it so that you can add that to your quilt. Don't forget to share photos in our Cristin Creates group of your beautiful quilt. I can't wait to see it. Great job, everyone. And my shirt today, so I'm probably going to wear several different shirts in this video because there's 5 different sections of it, but for now I'm wearing my Cozy Season sweater. This is a really fun one. I found this on Etsy and the wording is quilted. How different is that? I thought that was really fun. So and the sweater is from Amazon. I love this sweater. I have it in pink also. It's the one that says yes, I'm cold. It's the same sweater. I love this one. It fits really well. It's really comfortable. I will add a link to my Amazon storefront where you can get the sweater. It's a really good one. I like this one a lot. It's very comfortable and well made. So I like that one. Always check out my Amazon storefront for any shirts and sweaters that I recommend. And I will add all the information underneath this video of where I got the design, the Cozy Season design, and also the sweater. And it's the last day of our goal for all of Jingle All the Way. So I asked you at the beginning of every project to pick out a goal. So my goal this whole project was to build strength. That's the big one, is to build strength, and also to work on projects in between. And so I did not work out this weekend. I did go for a long walk in the sun, trying to get a lot of vitamin D, and that's my goal today, is to work a little bit and then get my bum outside to try and soak up vitamin D and feel better. But I have purposely not gone to the gym. I've done all the right things in listening to my body. I'm quite proud of myself. I'm not very good at doing that. And so I really backed off a lot. And so no workouts really. I did go for a walk, a nice walk in the sunshine. That's really good. How did you do with your goal during this entire season? So the entire project that we worked on, how did you do with your goal? I actually did pretty well. I'm really proud of myself. It wasn't perfect. I had several days off that I didn't work out, but I've really worked on building muscle during this project, and that has helped a lot. It's really good for your body. It's good for your bone mass. That's a big one for me. I need so anyway, I want to hear about your goal. Make sure to leave a comment and tell me how you did with your goal for this entire project. Start thinking about other goals to work on as well. I want to hear about it.